You could have heard a gum wrapper hit the canvas. 31 seconds into the bout, Marvis Frazier was folded in half, and the Garden had gone so still the ropes squeaked like old porch swings. 1986, Mike Tyson already had 18 knockouts, 12 in the opening round. Tonight, he'd make it 19. Backstage, phones lit up. Managers stammered, promoters sweated, champions suddenly remembered dental appointments. Same panicked whisper every time. How do we keep our guy away from that kid? This isn't a highlight reel. It's the anatomy of fear. How one Brooklyn teenager turned the heavyweight division into a doctor's waiting room. Stick around. By the end, you'll get why some fighters cashed their last check and vanished rather than share 24 feet of canvas with Iron Mike. Tyson didn't walk into boxing spotlight. He was fired out of a Brownsville basement like a cannonball. Picture 4 a.m., ropes slapping the floor in rhythm with rats in the corner. Customato took one look at the scowling 14-year-old and saw a missile without a target. Peekaboo guard, head rolling like a bobblehead, hips that cracked like a whip. Every drill built to make small guys miss and big guys regret. Cuss hammered 2 lessons into him daily. People fear what they can't predict. End it before the ref remembers his whistle. End result? A heavyweight who moved like a lightweight and hit like a drunk cement truck. Tyson's amateur sheet. 33 fights, 31 wins, 24 KOs. The pros just hadn't read the memo. Their cushy careers had officially closed for renovations. First victim, Hector Mercedes, March 6th, 1985, 40 seconds. Next up, Trent Singletary, 1 round. By fight 6, headlines screamed, "The Killing Streak." Fans wanted blood. Mike served vintage claret. Trevor Berbick, 11 months after the loss, his knees still wobbled when a cab backfired. Jesse Ferguson lasted long enough to fracture his thumb and earn a disqualification, but the message stuck. Tyson beat you twice. Once in the ring, once in the head. After fight 14, the rugged, fighting cowboy James Tillis managed the distance. Tyson shrugged at reporters. "I'm not getting paid overtime." Fights 15, 17, 18, first-round bodywork. Vegas paramedics started drawing straws for front row duty. By 86, magazines couldn't decide if he was Mozart or a mugger. The stare-down became a ritual. Tyson marched glove-taped, robe-less, eyes drilling a hole through the canvas like it owed him money. Opponents cracked, they looked away, pretended to retie laces, prayed for the ceiling to fall. Michael Spinks later admitted he studied Tyson tapes till sunrise, then brewed coffee till noon, trying to convince himself the footage was sped up. Promoters caught on fast. A journeyman ranked 9th suddenly developed chronic back spasms when offered a career-high payday. The WBA's contender pool dried up quicker than cheap bourbon. Managers played musical chairs with rankings, anything to stay 5 spots back. Fear wasn't abstract, it was accounting. One highlight reel loss to Tyson and your ticket sales got halved, sponsors ghosted, and arenas booked restaurant appointments over boxing cards. The heavyweight division turned into a chess match of duck, dodge, decline. November 22nd, 1986. Tyson versus Berbick, WBC belt on the line. Berbick tried to clinch. Tyson ducked inside and uncorked an uppercut that rewrote gravity itself. Berbick fell, rose, then his legs filed for divorce. 2 minutes 35, and the youngest heavyweight champion ever had a new belt and not a scratch on him. Reporters shoved mics in his face. "How's the crown feel?" Mike just blinked. "Been wearing it in my head since I was 12. Tyson understood intimidation the way sharks understand blood. He studied sleep habits, music playlists, the way a guy tied his shoes. In the dressing room before the Spinks fight, he paced like a lion outside a Chuck E. Cheese.
I walk in, and he's punching, standing there. He and Rooney's putting something on. He's punching holes in the wall. I'm like to myself, oh no. This guy's getting ready to fight my guy, my little guy.
91 seconds after the bell, the undefeated lineal champion became another ghost story. Media called it the punch-heard round sports. Ticket prices tripled. Casinos opened prop bets, not on whether Tyson would win, but in which millisecond. Tyson owns all 3 belts. IBF's top 3 contenders. 2 took sudden tune-ups in Tokyo. The third retired to find religion. Don King had to bribe, threaten, and sweet-talk Tony Tucker into the ring. Tucker made it to round 10, but the pattern held: fight Mike and your next payday shrank, or dodge him and live to headline another day. Even sparring partners vanished. They signed NDAs so their wives wouldn't learn how hard he hit. One asked for hazard pay, another wore a catcher's chest plate. Both were gone by Friday, muttering, "Dude's not human." 19 fights, 19 knockouts. 12 lasted under 3 minutes. Average fight time, 4 minutes, 32 seconds. Only 4 guys heard the bell for round 3. Combined pre-Tyson record of those 19 men, 247-38. Post-Tyson, add 19 more losses, all KOs. Vegas odds got so lopsided, betting on Mike paid less than a certificate of deposit. His hook traveled in 0.12 seconds, blink, and you're napping. Angles, uppercuts from the floor, hooks from places geometry hadn't discovered yet. Power, scientists clocked his hook at 1,030 pounds force, enough to lift a baby grand. Mindset, every opponent supposedly owed him money, insulted his mom, and dated his ex, then multiply by 10. Add it up, and you're not facing a boxer. You're facing a natural disaster wearing trunks. Years later, when Tyson's life went sideways outside the ring, the fear stayed. Evander Holyfield stepped up only after the aura cracked. Lennox Lewis waited until the late 90s. Today, fans argue over the greatest heavyweight: Ali's footwork, Lewis's jab, Klitschko's distance. But ask them, who would you least want staring at you at 1 a.m. in a half-lit gym? One name still wins by a mile, because once you've seen the streak, you realize Tyson wasn't boxing. He was collecting ghosts. 19 fights, 19 knockouts, an entire division scared stiff. Leave it at that. Next time somebody claims the 80s heavyweights were a weak bunch, remind them how many champions chose early retirement over an early grave. If this story hit you like a right uppercut, smash the like. YouTube's version of a 10 count. Subscribe for more untold corners of boxing lore, and tell me in the comments which fighter you think had the guts or the insanity to face Prime Tyson.